Russian occupiers were stopped on the approaches to the town of Huliaipole in the Zaporizhia region, but the situation remains very tense. Military observer Denis Popovich said on Radio NV, "As of now, we have information that the Russian offensive on Huliaipole has been halted, but on the approaches to this city, meaning the Russians are very close," he noted. According to him, the situation there is extremely tense and unfavorable for the Ukrainian Armed Forces. He added that if the enemy is deploying additional forces there, it means they haven't abandoned their attempt to encircle and ultimately capture the city. The expert stated that the Russians had been tasked with accomplishing this by the end of 2025. Therefore, we can expect them to attempt to fulfill this objective and continue their offensive operations, Popovich said. According to him, the capture of Huliaipole would mean further enemy advances toward Orikovo and the city of Zaporizhia. He added that the prospects for the Ukrainian regional center are clear, specifically the possibility of Russian shelling of the city's outskirts with multiple launch rocket systems. The Center for Countering Disinformation at the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine reported that information about an alleged entry of Russian forces into Huliaipole, the Zaporizhia region, today does not correspond to reality. It is noted that the invaders did indeed attempt to enter the town, but all of them have already been eliminated. The defense forces managed to stabilize the situation in this front sector. Fighting continues. Spokesperson for the Southern Defense Forces, Vladislav Voloshin, stated that in the Huliaipole sector, the command took timely measures to improve the defense situation and deployed reserves accordingly. The Defense Force of Ukraine, despite everything, continue to hold back the enemy and do everything so that we are not ashamed before our fallen comrades and our own dignity, he stated. The Center for Countering Disinformation emphasizes that the enemy is disseminating such disinformation to instill fear among Ukrainians. Through these false narratives, Russia seeks to undermine trust in the defense forces and destabilize the internal resilience of Ukrainian society. The situation is quite difficult because the enemy does not stop assaulting, trying to push back the Ukrainian defense forces, but there is no enemy in Huliaipole itself. It has been stopped and blocked on the outskirts of the settlement. In addition, the Ukrainian defense forces are taking countermeasures against enemy attacks, and search and strike operations are underway to identify groups trying to infiltrate the settlement. That is why there are no military clashes in Huliaipole itself. The enemy has not entered the locality, informed Voloshin. The spokesman noted that weather conditions affect the equipment used by the Russians, as well as the intensity of this use. Voloshin emphasized that due to the thick fog, the Russians have almost halved the use of drones at the front. As reported, the situation on the Huliaipole and Kharkiv front sectors has remained tense in recent weeks, with Russian forces increasing their activity.
A section of the Druzhba oil pipeline suffered an explosion near the settlement of Kazinsky Vyselki in Russia's Tambov Oblast on December 1. Sources in Defense Intelligence of Ukraine said this. Sources told that the attack on the oil pipeline had been carried out on the Taganrog-Lipetsk section of the pipeline near Kazinsky Vyselki. They said an explosive device used for the blast had been triggered remotely and contained additional incendiary components to intensify the fire. Users posted videos of the explosion on local social media channels. Residents reported a loud rumble in the Kazinsky Vyselki area, accompanied by bright flashes in the sky. Russia uses the Druzhba oil pipeline to transport crude to countries in Central and Eastern Europe. The report came as Kiev escalates its campaign against Russia's oil infrastructure and network, with sanction-evading oil tankers also becoming a target in the Black Sea in recent weeks. The source told Kyiv Post that Kyiv will keep striking Russian oil infrastructure as its revenues fuel Moscow's war effort. The Russian oil network, which funds the state aggressor and its military-industrial complex, will keep exploding and burning until the enemy stops attacking Ukraine, the person said. On August 22, Ukraine struck Russia's oil pumping station, part of the Druzhba pipeline system, in the city of Oneka. On August 13, Ukrainian kamikaze drones had already struck the Oneka pumping station on the Druzhba pipeline. Sources in Ukraine's Defense Intelligence Directorate told the operation was carried out by HUR in cooperation with other defense forces units. According to Ukraine's General Staff, strikes on Russian enterprises and infrastructure in 2025 have inflicted losses estimated at $74.11 billion, roughly 4% of Russia's GDP. Nearly 80% of confirmed targets have been oil and gas facilities, 42% refineries, 37% storage depots, and the rest logistics hubs such as pumping stations and export terminals. Most strikes hit targets 500 to 1,000 kilometers from Ukraine's borders, with a similar proportion within 500 kilometers, and 10% at depths of over 1,000 kilometers. The General Staff did not disclose the weapons used. The night of Wednesday, December 3, was turbulent in Russia. That night, there were reports of a drone attack in the Tambov region. An oil refinery in the region caught fire, according to Exile Nova Plus. An oil refinery in Russia's Tambov region caught fire on the night of December 3 as a result of an attack by unknown drones. The regional governor confirmed that a fire broke out at an oil depot in the Tambov region after drone debris fell. Footage of a blazing fire at an oil refinery is being widely shared online. Publics note that the Nikiforovskia oil depot of Tambov Nefteprodukt JSC in the village of Dmitrovka was hit overnight. It should be added that Voronezh region governor Alexander Gyuzov also complained about the attack on the region. According to him, in one district, several fuel tanks were slightly damaged as a result of the downed drone. However, he noted that no fire broke out. It's worth noting that the aggressor country's Ministry of Defense reported on the drone's operations this morning. According to their data, Russia was attacked by over 100 drones. They claim to have intercepted and destroyed 102 drones overnight. 26 UAVs over the territory of the Belgorod region, 22 UAVs over the territory of the Bryansk region, 21 UAVs over the territory of the Kursk region, 16 UAVs over the territory of the Rostov region, 7 UAVs over the territory of the Astrakhan region, 6 UAVs over the territory of the Saratov region, 4 UAVs over the territory of the Voronezh region. At the end of November this year, the Beriv aircraft repair plant in Taganrog, Rostov Oblast, Russia, was damaged. A fire broke out in the Tu-95 aircraft repair shop. At the same time, the defense forces also once again struck the Afipsky oil refinery in the Krasnodar territory, which is involved in supplying the Russian army.
Господи, обереги наш дом, Господи. Господи, что все прошло мимо нашего дома. Господи, защити нас и огради, Господи.